What is going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Yamcast. Today is episode 87. We are approaching the 100 Yamcast episode mark, which is pretty crazy.
Yep.
Pretty crazy. I also see on the sheet there it says the Yamcat 87. So
it does say the Yamcat.
It's all feline themed today. Just kidding, it's not. We're talking news about smart helmets a little bit today, looking at if they really are a thing. We're going to be looking at smart helmets a little bit. We've also got one of Norton's new models. That's going to be quite an interesting one that I'm excited to talk about. And we've also got a bit of GP news because Pecco is starting the summer break off with some drunken off-track field trips.
Yup.
Which is quite a development. Then for the DM portion of the podcast, we're going to be talking about what is our Discord members' favorite motorcycle brand. We're going to be telling you guys our favorite motorcycle brands. You probably already know them, but we're going to go in depth about why they're our favorites, of course. And then we have a really good meme contest this week.
Yes.
General motorcycle memes. I have not seen them. We kept it very broad so that we get the best quality possible.
Mm-hmm.
Want the funniest, best motorcycle memes. I'm hoping we get some really, really good stuff. I think the game has been upped a little bit. It's been a while since we've done a meme contest. So
yeah, I'm really looking forward to some good memes this week. And
yes.
Maybe if they're subpar, we ought to obliterate them.
Yeah.
Just as like punishment.
Yeah, if you brought in subpar memes, we're not going to hold back this time. We're handing out some zeros today. So stick around, have some fun. If you have not yet, hit subscribe down there on the YouTube channel. And if you love the Yamcast, you should join over on yamandoob.co. $5 a month. $5 a month. $5 a month. You can't pay me in bunks. I don't know what that is. You pay me $5 per month. You can get yourself access to the Discord server, entry to one of our giveaway bikes, a discount on our store, 10% off all of our items. That membership pays for itself, folks. Pick yourself up in a Rye helmet. Save yourself $50 on that helmet with your $5 membership. Without further ado, let's jump into the Yamcast.
Let's do it. All right, so our first piece of news, and I'm using this news article generally to allow us to talk more about smart helmets, because that's one thing we haven't talked about on the Yamcast. And This is this new company, Foresight, that is making this new smart helmet. And so a lot of these helmets have HUDs and stuff, and they have built-in communicators and so forth, and they're all crazy expensive.
Yes.
They're all insanely expensive. So what we are looking at here is we're looking at the Foresight MK1 here, which is a carbon fiber shelled helmet that's going for 1,600 Australian dollars. So I think that's
it's like 1,400
US, something like that. It's ECE rated. It's got a sun visor. It's got all the vents and stuff.
Yep.
It's a real helmet, but it also has this front-facing camera on it.
Okay.
Which has, some sort of, I would assume, SD cards so that you could run a dash cam, essentially.
Oh, it's got like speakers built in,
yeah,
too.
It's got
That's
built-in speakers in there. It's got, the usual vent scheme. This one, as far as features, is a little less crazy, right?
Yeah.
So we have an HD chin-mounted camera, which probably means 720 would be my guess. It's got some LED warning indicator, remote controller, so that you can turn the camera on and off, probably. It's okay, I would say. The stuff in here is okay.
Let me run this by you, and let me see what you think, because someone on stream just mentioned it, and I just thought of it. To me, helmets are consumable goods.
Yes.
Right? They're not pieces of technology, so to speak. There's something that their first and foremost function is designed to keep your brain safe. Right?
Yes.
I don't really see the need to have all this tech on. I can always add the tech to my helmet if I want to, right? If I want to add a cardo, if I want to put a GoPro and do video or whatever. So what's the draw to have all this tech on there?
That's one of the things that I want to talk about is I don't understand the point of this, because now as an actual rider who's gone through several helmets just through the course of riding around, I couldn't think of a worse investment than one of these smart helmets, because like you say, they are consumable and they wear out. So unless you can send the helmet back and get new foam put into it, or something like that, even then the outer shell is going to change. The quality of it's going to degrade over time. And personally, I don't know. I don't really think the technology on there is going to be up to the task of being out in the rain and out in the elements. Like, motorcycle helmets live a hard life. They live a very hard life.
They're out in 100-degree weather, freezing weather. I just don't think that tech would hold on for that long. And also, let's think a helmet's useful lifespan, if you don't crash in, it's about 5 years. I typically keep a helmet for 2 to 3, and then I'm getting something else, trying something new. $1,600 to just have a smart helmet for a little bit for 3 years, not really something I would be interested in. But maybe a less price conscious consumer, someone who wants a super flashy premium thing, could be interesting. The speaker thing to me really, I don't like the integrated speaker things. Let me put the speakers I want in it, right?
Yes.
I mean, we were just talking about this before the show, how you like different speakers for your Cardo, right?
Yep. And I love the fact that you can just go buy and drop them in.
Yeah.
It's, Cardo comes with the JBLs, but maybe you want something that's a little bit more bass focused, or you want something that you're bougie like our mod badassler, and you want to spend, $120 on drop-in pucks for your Cardo.
Sure. Why not?
Yeah, absolutely. But another thing that I'm thinking about here is the technology that comes in this is a time capsule.
Yes.
Right? So
it's locked in.
You're locked into this helmet for the length of time, and you're not going to put your GoPro mount on top of the camera. Yeah. And the GoPro is always going to outperform whatever camera's in there.
Yeah.
Just like a Cardo is going to outperform whatever's in here.
Yeah. This to me feels like a laptop that you'd buy with all the specs already in it versus like a home built PC, right?
Yeah.
Like you can spec it in as much as you want.
Another thing too, I've actually worn one of these. The Scully is the one that I checked out, and it had a heads-up display with a rear-facing camera, so you could actually see behind you. Yeah, which was kind of neat. And then it had like actual heads-up display stuff showing you telemetry off your dash, basically speed, RPM, stuff like that. That helmet, very heavy.
Yes.
B, very hot.
Didn't think about that.
Because when you have all of this computer equipment, the computer equipment needs to be vented. Yeah. So the vent scheme works on the computers, not on your head.
Oh, no.
So you're sitting in this hot... It's like having a Schuberth helmet. Yeah. That, they're like, oh, it's so quiet. Yeah, it's quiet because it doesn't have any damn vents in the thing. So you're boiling your brain just to try to have this cool stuff where you could just kind of do one of these.
Yeah, or just look in your mirrors.
Yeah.
Right?
So
the heads-up, for me, the heads-up display stuff is very egregious just because I'm like, your eyes should be on the road and on the motorcycle.
Yes.
I don't think there should be any distractions going on. It's why I personally, even though they are sponsored the channel and I do think they're useful, the rock forms and stuff, I don't run any on my bikes, honestly, because I like being kind of focused and dedicated to what I'm doing. I don't like having extra screens on me.
The only time I run the rock form is when I'm going on long distance.
Navigation is so useful for that, yeah. But otherwise, I'm not like checking my texts and stuff while I'm riding. That's crazy. So yeah, I feel like a heads-up display in my helmet would be so distracting,
Let me ask you this. What do you think about, since you're not looking at your dash while you're on a track, what do you think about having some telemetry in your peripherals while you're on track? Do you think that would be useful?
Possibly.
Or do you think it matters because you get
for me, it'd be like, oh, my braking pressure, I'm like being a total on track, I think that telemetry is really great post-ride, not during ride. It's really great because I've done this for years now. You pull in the data, you analyze what you were doing, and then you can improve when you're not in the bike and thinking about, because you're thinking about so much while you're on track, there's a lot going on. I don't think you should have more data flying at you,
And really, from what I've experienced, the little I've experienced, it's all about feel.
Oh yeah, it's all
when you're
feel.
Out there.
That's why it was so funny when I put the R1 on track and the Fireblade on track. They've got all these real time, like, oh, how much G's is the front pushing and the lean angle. You're not looking at any of that. You're looking ahead, and you're hearing the revs and you're feeling it out and you're feeling what it's doing on the side, and that's it.
Yeah. And I just don't see the point for this stuff.
Yeah.
There's that one. It's the Nuviz. Nuviz is the thing where it's a bolt-on thing for the outside. You stick it on, and it's got the little like pop-up HUD that's on there. I'm sure it's gotten smaller, but when I first saw it in YouTube videos, I was like, damn, that thing is a brick.
Yeah.
You know, it was like half the size of the Focusrite that's on the table over there.
Yeah.
Just sticking up the side of your helmet. The only thing you should be strapping on your helmet, in my opinion, is a camera and a Cardo or whatever communicator you choose to use.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah, I can't think of anything else I'd want to strap to my helmet, really.
Yeah.
It's funny because these smart helmets, they've come and gone for the last like 8 years or so. Somebody comes in, they're like, we're going to make a smart helmet. And we're like, a lot of people have tried this already. And it doesn't really, like, not many people give a about this, you know?
It's usually met with a resounding neat.
Yeah.
And then everybody goes back to wearing their normal helmet.
Yeah.
Because we already have to charge our helmets now with the Cardos on them.
I'm honestly sick of all the bullshit in my life I have to charge. I don't want to charge my helmet. I don't want, like, you know what I mean? I want less things to charge.
Yeah.
You know, like we recently got those new wireless labs that they don't take a normal battery, so you got to charge them on the USB. You're like, God, another thing I got to set up with the brick and put it in a little situation. It's just annoying.
Yep.
Yeah. That's why I was really worried whenever Cardo made the new Edge. I was like, it can pop off the side of the helmet, right? Because I don't want to put my whole ass helmet near a USB cable. I want the tiny Cardo in its own little USB situation.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, smart helmets, they come and go every few years. Somebody takes a crack at it, and nobody's gotten it to a point of mass adoption.
Nope.
And I don't think there ever will be mass adoption for it.
No.
The helmet's a bit of a mousetrap. It's a solved problem.
You already have people struggling to pay $600 for a new show.
Totally,
right?
yeah.
So
yeah.
why are they going to spend $1,400 on a camera?
Our best-selling helmet on the store is a $110 ECE rated lid.
Yep.
Tells you everything you need to know.
Well, moving on to our next piece of news, we have some Norton news.
Spite, is that a Royal Enfield?
Or is it a Triumph?
Is it a Triumph? What is that? What's that bike right there? Dual shocks in the back, twin pipes, air-cooled fins. It's a new Norton, huh?
Yeah, so Norton, if you've been following the Yamcast, we touch in on Norton every couple of months at this point. They used to be going through bankruptcy and receivership, and now they're bought by TVS, and they were changing hands so fast. Everything was on fire there for the longest period of time, and they had a pension scam that was going on. Yeah. Whole nightmare scenario. They're still not making motorcycles. So I find it interesting.
They made the V4, right? I think
they are making.
They're making it. Okay.
Making.
Yeah.
The V4. So the V4 is now in two forms. They have the V4 SV Superbike and the V4 CR Cafe Racer.
Yep.
So they're still working on it. I don't think that they have actually filled any orders yet. And so they're currently bringing back this new Commando. And the Commando's been sort of in and out of their portfolio for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always been this 916, and it's been...
Oof, that is pretty.
Yeah, I mean, it's a gorgeous looking little motorcycle here. I mean, just look at that. It's got the arch elements to it in the front. It's got the Triumph situation going on here.
Yeah. Just classic.
It's a pretty looking motorcycle.
Yeah.
But it feels like another one of those things where they're taking on another project when they still haven't finished the first project that they've been saying they're going to finish for half a decade now.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. It kind of looks like the silhouette of it from this angle kind of reminds me of a Thruxton a little bit.
Yep.
But with handlebars instead of clip-ons. But it looks decently sporty. I'm clocking dual disc brakes, sticky tires, upside down forks.
Yep.
I'm clocking. It's got the twin shocks out back like an old school bike.
Twin rotors.
Twin rotors. Big lumpy, seemingly air cooled engine, oil cooled maybe. I can't tell.
It looks air and oil would be my guess. That's a radiator right there of some kind. So it's either an oil cooler or a proper radiator.
Mm-hmm.
But with the way those fins are cut, looks like it's air and oil.
Yeah.
Which would be cool, you know? Sure, go for it. But this is one of those things where we still haven't seen bikes from Norton like being fulfilled.
Yep. The V4 SS was unveiled in 2016. That was 6 years ago, folks.
Yeah.
I know it's hard to believe, but that was a while ago.
And so this is just one of those stories I wanted to touch on because we get in touch with Norton every now and again, and I still don't think they've got their shit together.
No, I don't think so. But the details on this bike are beautiful. Like if you scroll down, you see that tail section. That is really nice.
Yeah, I love the gold pinstriping here and the recessed light. It's a gorgeous looking bike, and I'm sure when it's done, it'll be great.
Yeah.
But who knows when that's going to be
at
this point.
Who the hell knows? I wonder if they'll turn it into a bit of like a platform style bike where they're going to make like a sort of a cafe racer version of it, more of a street version. I'm sure they will, you know?
Oh, for sure. This is going to be one of those things where it's like the Bonneville. They just make a whole ton of versions of it, and they sell them all for about $20,000.
Yeah, it says right there at the end, price tag to match, probably coming in at somewhere near $20,000. So it's going to have a little bit more of that bespoke kind of collector's feel to it, which is kind of what they're banking on for the Norton brand. They want old timers kind of be like, oh, I remember Norton. Let me pull out the pocketbook and write a huge ass check for one of these bikes, you know?
Yep, and they're thinking probably around 80 horsepower.
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
Sure.
I think the Bonneville makes about that. I think the 1200 makes like 85 and 80, something like that.
I think the Thruxton was making almost 100.
Yeah.
So...
God, that was a nice engine. I love that thing.
Yeah, this kind of feels like it's going to be a Giga Interceptor.
Yeah.
You know, but I just wanted to bring this up because it is a piece of Norton news, and we touch on them every now and again.
Yeah. But we move on to our flagship piece of news.
Our flagship piece of news, burying the lead a little bit here today.
Yeah.
With Pecco Bagnaglia's big old off-track excursion.
Oof. So this came as a bit of a surprise just about 2 days ago for us, where Pecco Bagnaia, Ducati's golden boy, as I called him earlier while we were hanging out here at the shop, was involved in a drunk driving accident in Ibiza because he was hanging out on vacation as they're off right now. He apparently drove his SUV into a ditch and blew a number that was 3 times over the legal limit. No, it was 0.87
versus
grams per liter, which is Spain's over their 0.5 grams per liter.
Yep.
And, you know, for me, I made this joke earlier, but I'm going to make it again. It was just Pecco Bagnaia being Pecco Bagnaia at the wrong time.
That's pretty
all
much
what happened. I mean, people were shocked that he crashed something. I'm like, well, that's what this guy does, you know?
Right into the gravel trap.
Yeah, they apparently say that he went straight through a roundabout. And I'm like, damn. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, we were sitting here wondering if he got any air up over it.
Probably.
But
you have to wonder, a dude that is doing this well for himself couldn't call a cab, couldn't drive the car. Like, be reasonable, man. Why are you driving drunk? No excuse. In a world of Ubers, right? Why on earth would you drive drunk?
Mm-hmm. I also think it's interesting the difference here between our limit and their limit. So we're 0.8, right? Or 08.
I think it's
0.08. So
but I think that's grams over liter. We probably do it, you know, freedoms over cheeseburgers. Whatever the hell we have it. It's the number system's different.
That's true. So he was pretty toasted, shall we say. And so they're saying that the fine here is going to probably be between $305 to $610.
That's honestly pretty reasonable.
That's a slap on the wrist right there.
Yeah, I mean, if you got caught doing that here in the States, you'd have a big problem.
It's $1,000 in Texas for your first time.
Yeah.
And
how do you know that?
Because of the whole situation that I had with my first Harley.
Oh, that's right. You had that guy who crashed into you. That's right.
Yep. So I got very familiar with those rules.
Yeah. So the point I want to make about this is in a previous MotoGP rider's career, Hector Barbera, he was also caught drunk driving, and they booted him off the team.
Yep.
I don't think that's going to happen to Bagnaia. I think he's going to do a little apology session and some make good and some good PR, because there's no way Factory Ducati is going to let him go. No chance.
See, so he already has his little apology here, which is this paragraph right here.
All right, we'll read this here. Pecco Bagnaia was quoted saying, however, the alcohol...
it's right here. Sorry, my bad.
Excuse me. Pecco Bagnaia was quoted saying, last night I was in Ibiza with my friends for a party during this break from MotoGP. We celebrated and toasted together for my victory at the Dutch GP. Bagnaia acknowledged in a Twitter post, as I was leaving the disco at 3 a.m., disco at 3 a.m., my man. I was facing a roundabout when I ended up with the front wheels in a ditch without involving other vehicles or people. So, yeah, you're driving late night toasty and you crashed your car.
Yup. He says, I'm sorry for what happened and I'm practically a non-drinker.
It was a serious carelessness that should not have happened. I apologize to everyone and I can assure you that I have learned my lesson. Never get behind the wheel after drinking alcohol. Thank you. You should know better.
You really should. You're a premier class racer.
Yeah.
Like, dude, come on.
Yeah.
And you're there with your friends. At least have one of them drive so they take the heat, not you.
How did no one else think like, nah, Pecco can't take this one? Maybe his friends were more drunk than he was, and he was like, Pecco, you got the best odds of getting us home. Maybe they were in the middle of nowhere in Ibiza and they couldn't call an Uber or something. I mean, some of those places are pretty remote. Maybe that's why.
Yeah.
But I still think it was a dumb idea. So now it's going to be, up to Dorna, up to Ducati to see if there's going to be any penalties for him on his racing career. I don't think anything's going to happen.
I think probably what they'll end up doing is they'll probably fine him.
Yeah.
You hear about like football players getting a $10,000 fine for doing stuff. He'll probably get a fine that's literally a drop in the bucket of his salary.
Yeah.
And then Ducati's going to be like, Pecco, you really ought not to have done that.
Yeah.
And then, will you please go win us a race? Please, please, please.
What's funny is coming into 2022, every Ducati simp was telling me like, it's Pecco Bagnaia, he was so good last year, it's gonna be amazing. I was like, I don't know about this guy. I don't think it's gonna work out. And what's happened? He's a coin flip crasher. He gets on track. Yep. You're like 50% chance he's gonna crash. Nobody knows. And then off track, he's driving drunk and crashing. I'm like, wow, this has been a up year for Pecco.
You could argue it's been pretty consistent with the crashes.
Honestly, yeah, you could.
So.
There was a really funny meme I saw on our Discord about this. It was a compilation of him crashing on track, and the audio was like, all right, I had 1 beer. I had 2 beers. I had 3 beers. Then I had another beer. I had 4 beers. I had 5 beers. And he's just like keeps crashing. Oh, God. It's not a good look, though, man. It's really not a good look.
No. That's... if we are going to try and look at silver linings here, we're going to try and play devil's advocate for a dude who got behind the wheel drunk, which I'm not a fan of doing. He didn't hurt anybody else.
Yeah.
That's the only saving grace here, is that he didn't hurt anybody else.
It's probably because he saw Fabio Quartararo in the ditch and just drove right into it. No, I'm just kidding.
What a
he's like, make up this points gap, you piece of shit. He just drives right into the ditch. And his friend's a passenger. He's like, Mamma mia, Pecco, no, Pecco. Just saw the red mist of the flying Frenchman.
Mm-hmm.
There was another meme I saw that was great too. It was just a photo of the car in the ditch, and it was Matt Burt from GP just going, Pecco Bagnaia has gone down. What's the biggest bummer about this stuff nowadays is like, you up publicly like this, like people are just gonna meme you to death. Like they're just gonna have fun at your misfortune constantly. Mm-hmm. So he's gonna be the whipping boy for probably most of the summer break.
And probably even the first couple of races.
They're gonna bring it up.
Imagine he crashes in the first race back.
They breathalyze him. Like, are you good? Like, why'd you crash? It's too easy, man. It's too easy. But no, pretty dumb mistake by Pecco. He's very lucky to not have injured or crashed into anybody else. Mm-hmm. We do have to say that. It would have been a big bummer if this dummy got behind the wheel drunk and crashed into somebody else or hurt somebody else, because then it's inexcusable completely.
Yep.
At least in this case, it's like, all right, you drove into a ditch by yourself. That's pretty stupid, but you're fine. But yeah, it's a dumb mistake for sure. Completely preventable too.
Yeah.
Just don't drive drunk. Easy.
Get an Uber, dude.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll have to see what ends up happening here. I imagine there will be an actual statement at some point.
Yeah.
But it's probably going to be mealy-mouthed and being like, we talked to Pecco. We told him he was a very bad boy. Mm-hmm. Can we all move on now?
Yeah, definitely. But, folks, that's going to wrap up the news for the week. Let's move on to the DM portion of the podcast.
Let's do it.
Alrighty, folks, welcome to the DM portion of the podcast. We are talking about the best motorcycle brands, our favorite motorcycle brands, and we've actually polled the Discord boys to see which ones they love most, and we're going to get some feedback from them as well. So, Spite, I think I know your answer, but what? You can only pick one. What's your favorite motorcycle brand?
Okay, so this is where I have to be like, I have my personal favorite, but I also have a favorite based on what they're doing. Okay, so I think my favorite brand is probably Harley Davidson.
Wow, shocker.
Just because I really like Harleys. They look so cool to me, and I started out on them. So they're really fun, and you know, for what it's worth, I do have an emotional attachment to Harley Davidson. However, and this is going to surprise some folks out there, but I really like what Royal Enfield is doing. As a company, I really like what they're doing. They look very passionate about what they're doing.
They're so passionate. Did you hear the story about how their new CEO had all the C-suite execs ride
the bikes so that they could understand?
Hell yeah.
Like, that is something that you see in smaller companies, not like these big worldwide manufacturers. So, and I mean, this stuff with Build Train Race, how they started out as flat track, now they're actually doing road race series. Super cool stuff out of Royal Enfield. Their bikes are dog slow, but they're still cool and fun, but it's what the company itself is doing that makes me excited about them. Yeah. Which is why, you know, I kind of want Harley to take a page out of their book where they're making these bikes that are accessible, and they're letting anybody do anything with them. And they're doing these like special events and all sorts of stuff. Like King of the Baggers is cool, but it's no Build Train Race. No. Build Train Race is so much cooler.
It's so much more grassroots. It's so much more badass. Yeah.
And their bikes are so affordable that anybody could go do it.
Yes.
So that's the cool thing.
Yeah.
You know? And they've got companies like S&S backing them up. So gotta give credit where credit is due. Royal Enfield is doing very cool stuff.
But Harley Davidson is your favorite.
Harley Davidson is my brand attachment. Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
How about you? Shocker here, I know.
This is going to be a shocker, and nobody's going to see this coming. You wouldn't believe what happened next. Number 4 will amaze you. It's Yamaha.
Yeah.
Come on. I'm Yami Noob. My first bike was Yamaha. Before I even rode, I was that dude in the YouTube comment section being like, Yamaha R6 or die, you know? I've always thought Yamahas are the coolest. I have this obsession with the Daytona, as many people know. It is my favorite motorcycle ever, but as a brand, Yamaha's my favorite. I love Valentino Rossi. I root for them in GP, even though Fabio is like a sneaker-loving, Gucci-wearing, Dior-having, like goofy boy. You know, I still love Yamaha. I love seeing the M1. I love the way the M1 sounds. I think they make great motorcycles that a lot of people can get into. All their bikes are fun, man. Like all the MT bikes are fun as hell. They work really great, make great noises. Their off-road bikes are sweet, the YZs, the WRs. Yeah, I mean, you buy a Yamaha, I feel like you can't go wrong.
Yeah.
They
might be a little bit cheap and janky from time to time, but they are going to put a smile on your face no matter what you're doing with them.
Yes, I feel like really they have, of the big 4, probably the most pizzazz.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Like you look at a comparable Honda or a Suzuki, the Yamaha's always going to have a little bit more there. Like you ride an MT-10 and you ride a Gixxis Thou, and you're kind of like, the MT-10 is exceptional.
Oh, 100%.
Like, this is like next level. Yeah. But it's hard for me because I do love Yamaha. I don't even own a Yamaha right now, though, which is the funny part.
Nope.
I don't even own one. The WR was my last Yamaha, and I sold that. So right now I've got the Ducati, the Triumph, a KTM, a Husky, and a Suzuki. Those are my bikes. So it's kind of funny that my favorite brand, I don't even own one of their bikes.
There isn't even one in the shop.
Nope. There's no Yamaha.
So, yeah. What was the last one we had? It was the R7.
R7.
Which was a minute ago now.
That was a while ago. Yeah, that was like 9 months ago, I think. That was a while ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's do this now. So we polled the boys and we have the data. We'd like to show the data first. And for you at home, at Boys on the Discord, please send Spite a DM talking about your favorite motorcycle brand, and then we can discuss. But we actually have the numbers here. So we got 188 people to respond on this quick little survey that we put out. There are, just like to point out, many more members on YamiNoob.co in the Discord, but not everyone filled out the survey, which is obvious.
Yep.
And by and far away, their favorite motorcycle brand was Honda.
Honda and Yamaha actually edged it out at 19.7.
Okay, so Yamaha is actually the favorite there.
37 responses to Honda's 36. So they got one more person, which ended up being 0.6%. So two of the big four. Our next biggest was Kawasaki.
That makes sense.
With the fourth place going to Triumph.
Yeah, wow, okay.
So I was kind of expecting it to be Honda, Yamaha, Kawasaki, Suzuki, then
interesting
the Euro stuff.
So we're actually doing a big thing about like the bike's part finder feature on the store, and I had to do some research on that. And I was expecting it to be Honda, Harley, Yamaha. That's what I was thinking. Because I don't, at the end of the day, like, people hate it when we say it, but it's facts. Like, 1 in 3 bikes sold in America are Harley Davidsons.
Yep.
People like them. They buy them. They get those bikes. And for a lot of people, that is motorcycling. I was actually surprised, too, that 8.9% was KTM Husky Gas.
Yep.
Because those are some damn good bikes, too. I really like KTMs and Huskies as well. Those are fun, good motorcycles. They're cantankerous and maintenance prone and annoying, but they're very good.
Yep. It's funny because on our server, which obviously we have sport bike bias and probably a dirt bias before we have cruisers, Harley actually comes in pretty low down. They're after both Ducati and Suzuki.
Wow.
So Harley's they're bringing up the rear, which I kind of wasn't expecting. I'd have expected them to be like 5th.
Yeah.
Or 6th, maybe.
I would have too, but maybe that's just the sampling bias of our Discord server.
Yep.
I bet we'd get slightly different figures if we were to just put it out on YouTube general, you know?
Aprilia Megalo,
yeah,
which with only 7 people responding. And then we had 2 people root for Royal Enfield here.
2 Royal Enfield simps are like, it's my favorite.
Yep. So all of the brands we had in there: Aprilia, BMW, Ducati, Harley, Honda, Indian, Kawasaki, KTM.
How many did BMW get? I'm curious.
BMW had, they are red. They probably had 4.
4 people.
So nobody cares about the BMWs.
No.
Which, good. Another thing I found interesting: Indian got trounced.
Yeah.
I would have expected them to be right where Harley was, but they're not. And then we had 2 others, one of which I'm going to write off as it being tube. Anything ginger, that's probably tube.
Yep.
And then Corgi prefers to build his own bikes.
That's totally fair, Corgi. Yep. But at the end of the day, a Turbo Hayabusa is still a Suzuki.
It's still a Suzuki.
Yep. Even if it is some monstrous thing.
Yep. So now I figure we head off into the Discord server here, and we get them to explain themselves.
Yeah.
Explain why they like their motorcycles.
What's the favorite brand? Tell us why.
And first off, we have Vince82 here.
Vince82 says, my favorite motorcycle manufacturer is Aprilia. Why? I test rode and rented a few, and they are all bunched up at the top of best bikes I have ever ridden. I never owned one, though. My favorite brand to own is Yamaha. Why? I recently serviced my dad's old 1998 Phaser 600. After changing fuel and battery, it started at the first attempt. But those Aprilias, heart. And I think that's the big thing we're going to see is like the sensible, rational people, you get a Japanese bike.
Yep.
But the Euro bikes are always going to tug at your heart. It's like my Daytona. Like, there's no Yamaha that's like my Daytona.
Nope.
It's just not.
Next up, we've got Full Metal Corgi.
Full Metal Corgi says, I am my own favorite manufacturer. Wow. Nothing beats the pride and joy of creating your own two-wheeled machine and questioning every little tweak and torque spec as you ride. There's a certain satisfaction creating a masterpiece that no mainstream motorcycle manufacturers had the balls to make. Stop asking DIY and start asking DI, why not?
Because you need a garage and
you need a lot of
patience.
chutzpah, a lot of knowledge, a lot of stuff. Yeah. But I think it's very commendable, people who build their own bikes and do that sort of thing. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it shows a lot of knowledge of the subject matter. Like, could you imagine building your own motorcycle? Like, what you'd need to do?
Imagine someone like John Britton who built the V4 himself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that race bike. It's insane.
Yeah,
it's insane.
Next up, we've got Devin the Dirt Turd.
Devin says, even though the T7 is easily my favorite bike, I elected Triumph as my favorite brand. They've got a bike in every segment that is drop-dead gorgeous. The Rocket 3, Scrambler, Bobber, Speed Triple RR, Thruxton, and Trident are all beautiful, badass bikes. I think it's hard to argue against Triumph as a favorite. They make, like, Triumphs are so nice to ride.
They really are.
They're super nice to ride. Every Triumph I've ridden, I'm always like, damn, this thing's sweet.
The fueling on them is magnificent.
Just like butter, you know, It's just butter on the throttle. And I do think they have the balls to make something like the Rocket 3, the Speed Triple RR. Like, they could just be a Harley and just make Bonneville bikes.
But
you know? They don't. They try making cool stuff. They did axe the Daytona, and I will never forgive them, but that's okay.
Next up, we've got the Lava Melon.
Lava Melon says, I chose Cowie because they have the balls to release a forced induction bike. Glares at Suzuki. I mean, Cowie is kind of like the corollary to Yamaha, right? Like, I feel like if you're a diehard Yamaha guy, you're just kind of like an alternate dimension Kawasaki guy.
Yeah.
Because Kawasaki's are also all pretty sweet bikes,
Except for the 650s.
Except for the 650s, yeah. And that really hampers me to pick them as a favorite. I'd never pick Cowie as a favorite.
No, because as much fun as the ZH2 is, they still make the Vulcan.
Yeah.
And as a result, they make the Vulcan people, and the Vulcan people are
they ruin everything.
They ruin everything.
But they do have that H2, though.
They do have that H2.
Pretty sweet.
Next up, we've got Air Force 13.
Air Force says, Harley is the quintessential American bike and has been for over 100 years, and they just look cool, no matter the model. Plus, if you buy one, your dad will finally love you. That's fair, he will. What do you think about that? Quintessential American bike, picking Harley, rooting for the home team, right?
Yeah, I mean, they are the face of American motorcycling, and Indian will never be able to take that from them. No matter how hard they try.
Nope.
There's a love that you have of the bar and shield. You either love it or you hate it.
Yeah.
Honestly. And there's not really a lot of in between.
Yeah.
You know, you think of you and I, the only one that you've ridden and been like, wow, this is really cool, that wasn't the Pan Am, was the one that we built.
Yeah.
You know?
Every other one I've been very lukewarm about.
Because they're big, lumpy, cruisery things that are also very expensive.
I will say, I've ridden 2 of the M8s, and I've ridden the Sportster. I like the Sportster a lot more.
Yes.
There's a lot more character and charm about it, for sure. That 1275 was badass, and I think that I think Sportsters are just more interesting than the M8s.
Yeah, they have more character, more things going on. Beanball Sub is next.
Beanball Sub. Got my first dirt bike at 12. It was a 1981 XR250R. Had Honda for everything off-road since. Also, the MC22 CBR 250RR has a soundtrack that's hard to beat. A lot of people, I'm trying to figure out, like, the people who love Honda, you know? Mm-hmm. I think it comes down to, like, old bedroom posters of Fireblades and I mean, 90s and 80s Honda is just like god tier stuff.
It's the CBR with the 2 headlights, the white with the blue and red, like old cup looking paint job.
Yep.
That's the blade that everybody loves.
Yeah. You get that blade, you get the RC51, you get the super screaming little inline 4s. I mean, they've made all kinds of badass bikes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard to dog on Honda.
Next up, we've got Infernal Saxon.
Infernal Saxon here says, I really don't have any brand loyalty, but for now I will place Suzuki as my favorite. They keep it simple and affordable. Nothing you don't need at a reasonable price. But what about the emozione? What about the character, you know?
Yeah.
I will say Suzuki is like very no frills. It's like you get a Suzuki, you know exactly what you're getting, and they will do exactly what you tell them to, and they'll live forever. But I don't know. I just want something a little bit more.
We've ridden a lot of Suzukis on the channel, and honestly, the one that I think that has the most character was the pre-Turbo Busa.
Yeah.
Even the Gixxer 1000 that we have as a giveaway bike, it's really cool.
Yeah.
It's really cool, but it's a leader bike.
Yeah.
You know, the Busa was something different.
Yeah.
It was deeply different.
There are definitely days where I pine for the pre-Turbo Busa.
Yeah.
It was cool. It was period correct and authentic, and it was really nice, you know. Mm-hmm. The Turbo Busa is a completely different monster, but an OG Gen 1 Busa is super cool.
Very cool. Next up, we got Ten Tails.
Ten Tails, my favorite brand would have to be Kawasaki. A lot of their bikes have really good bang for buck. For me personally, I also enjoy their color scheme more. In the case of my bike, a 2022 Z900, you couldn't really find a better 900cc naked bike for the price tag. Also, where I'm from, they're very accessible compared to most other brands. That's a big thing with the Z900. People are always like, you can't find one that's as good bang for buck.
Well, I used MT09.
Yeah, I know. It's a little, yeah. Z900s are fine. They're fine. They're fine. They're okay. But yeah, but in the world of naked bikes that is so, my God, there's so many choices. It would probably be like third or fourth on my list.
Yeah, we came to the realization the other day that the Z900 was like, it was like a perfect ideal second motorcycle if you're coming from like a
Z400
or something.
Just skip those 650s altogether.
Mm-hmm. Because we were talking about how if you were going to go from the Z400 to like an MT09, that's like a nuclear step.
Yeah.
But the Z900, it's pretty chill.
Yeah.
You know? It's a good bike. Doesn't blow my skirt up though. Millennial Malaise is up next.
Says, this is a tough one for me, but my favorite brand is KTM Husky. KTM makes fast, competitive bikes in almost every segment. Still salty about the RC8R. Want a crazy, fun beginner bike? We got you. Duke 390, the Pillin, 401. Need a bananas road bike? Super Duke. Want a great sporty daily? Hard to beat an A90R. Need to win with the Dakar? No problem. Have a KTM 450. Like fast bikes but don't like orange or triangles? Husky to the rescue. Husky has some of the most boundary-pushing style, and KTM has some of the most characterful engines in tech. Can't beat the boys in Austria/Sweden. Plus, Red Bull is the greatest mixer. Don't at me. A lot of opinions there. Yep. What do you think about that as a dyed-in-the-wool KTM guy? Supposedly, your bike's been up on the lift for 7 months now.
So, KTM's cool, but they're really kind of dumb, honestly. The more I think about it, because they're like, oh, yeah, we're never going to make a sport bike, but, you know, 180 horsepower, 108 foot-pounds of torque, hyper-naked motorcycle. Yeah, that's completely reasonable.
It's pretty stupid. Yeah.
So, KTM bothers me, but there is a true underpinning that every single KTM is fun.
Very much.
Every single KTM you get on is fun.
Yeah.
So, gotta give them that.
Yeah.
Next up, we got Jesters.
Jesters. I'm digging KTM right now, just due to how raw the feel is, like the V-twin and parallel twin. Also, what you get for the money is decent. Debatable.
Debatable. Very debatable.
The tech is great, especially in their off-road segment. The tech is great, and the look for me personally. Also, the insurance is way cheaper than other bikes I would ride. I will also have a special place in my heart for Yamaha. And then he says, check out Tally Connected. They are interesting, but I'm not sure what to think on them. It says some additional safety stuff. I don't know what that link is. We're not going to click on it.
Nope.
But yeah, KTM, again here. For me, KTM, their off-road and their street options are very delineated.
Yes.
It's very much like, you know, if you're an off-road KTM boy, you're like badass or spending like as much money on the purchase price of the bike on Farkles, and you're taking it to the dealer every 6 months to get it like fully the top end redone. You know, it's like this ridiculously like, you know, full-on experience. Like I remember when I switched from my WR to the Husky, I was like, Jesus Christ, this was a stratospheric leap in performance.
Yeah.
But the street bikes, I feel like are much more normal type of machines, and they do have a lot of character.
Normal.
A little more normal, yeah. Like a 380-pound middleweight naked bike with like 120 horsepower is pretty bananas.
693cc single-cylinder engine that makes 55 foot-pounds of torque.
It's pretty bonkers. Yeah.
Yeah, they lost the plot a long time ago, but I'm here for the ride. That's for sure. Rip City.
Rip City says, I like Yamaha because they're fun, reliable, inexpensive, and look great. Can't argue with that.
Just above it, though, we see a picture of his XSR 900. So definitely
a teensy bit biased.
Teensy bit biased, yeah.
Teensy bit.
CJ Baby with freaking dissertation here.
CJ Baby. All right, here we go. It's Aprilia. No surprises from me, but the flagship bikes they produce are all ridiculously engineered. 5 to 10 years ago, no one was thinking about a bike that would work for commute duty and still be perfectly capable for a track day. Then the RS660 came along and legitimately changed what a sport bike could be. Comfortable but still capable of 55-degree lean angles with the right rider, amazing. And then there's the RSV4, which has become one of the ultimate track day weapons. Even though most of the RSV4 riders can't approach the limits of that bike, the pure passion from the Italian firm puts this bike probably unmatched now because Ducati is approaching or has already become mainstream. Plus, Ducati throws an ungodly amount of money of bikes into GP, and Aleix is the only rider left with a reasonable chance of taking first place from Quartararo. Side note, does anybody care about the Constructors' Championship this year? Ducati literally bought half the grid, it feels like. So lots to say here. Aprilia as a favorite brand. I just feel like their options are too limited.
Yes.
They make like 4 bikes, like 4 or 5 bikes, and they're really good. They're great. The R660 is a masterpiece. It's an amazing little motorcycle. The Touareg 660, you got to ride one of those one day because they are f***ing sweet. That's
I'm really looking
sweet
forward
bike.
to it, yeah.
It's really cool. I mean, if you love the KLR, the Touareg is just like, think of the KLR to a T7, but like another step above that. You're like, wow, this is an awesome motorcycle. Mm-hmm. I do feel like the Tuono V4 and the RS V4 are pretty bonkers. That Tuono we had earlier this year was
a lot.
It was a lot. But they're good. They're really good. And the engineering is beautiful on them. And they are kind of becoming like the new Ducati. They're a little more off the beaten path. I've asked many people in my life who are normies about Aprilia, and they never know what the hell it is. Yeah. You know what I mean? They're like, what is that? Everyone knows what a Ducati is, but nobody knows what an Aprilia is.
Yeah. So they're kind of like the hipsters Italian brand.
Yeah.
I think we've got time for one more here.
All right.
And seeing as how it is Biscotti Boy 620, I have a feeling we have our Ducati representation finally.
Let's see. You clicked on Emperor there.
Oh, yep.
Biscotti Boy says, Ducati is my favorite brand of motorcycle because the Monster is the first motorcycle that I ever thought looked sexy enough that it made me want to ride one. Now I got a beat up old Monster as my first bike, and I'm loving every minute of it, even though it leaks more oil than my 2 Subarus combined. So that's something I wanted to mention at the wrap up of this DM portion is I do think the first bike you own definitely leads you into your favorite because those memories will stay with you forever.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like I will never forget looking down at the single round dash that said Harley Davidson with the bar and shield. Every time I get on a Harley and I see the bar and shield, I'm like, oh, this is just like my first bike.
Yeah. For me, it's when I see the tuning fork. Mm-hmm. When I see the tuning fork, like the R1 had it right on the dash, I was just like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I want a Yamaha.
Didn't the R1s, it had like the smoke and the tuning fork, and then it had the R1 logo.
Yeah.
That was really cool when you booted it up.
It's so cool. R1 is still one of my, I'm getting chills thinking about it. I love the R1 so much. It's such a great bike. But yeah, your first model and make will definitely always stick in your mind. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so much so that I've been tooling out the idea of maybe next year getting a little R3 and doing an endurance build on it and going back to CMRA. I feel like that'd be a lot of fun.
That would be fun.
It's not as competitive as the 400 though, so I probably won't do it.
Just do it for giggles. Why not?
Just for fun. But we got the Ducati representation in, and that's going to wrap up the DM portion of the podcast. And we're now going to move on to the meme contest. Should be a good one.
Here we go.
Alrighty, everybody, welcome to the meme contest. Spike, what are the prizes this week, actually?
So, our prizes for this week, first place is getting a set of Flying Eye sunglasses.
Very nice.
Yeah, brand spanking new set. We got a whole bunch back there that they can choose from. And second place, $50 Amazon gift card. Third place is a Yami Noob t-shirt from the shop.
Nice. Love to see it. So for you folks at home who don't know, if you join on YamiNoob.co, you can participate in these and get entered to win some fun prizes and make some memes and have some fun. It's a great time. But without further ado, let's jump into the motorcycle memes.
Yeah, so this week it was just general, make us the best meme you can about motorcycles.
Yeah, we kept it real vague, just motorcycle memes. Let's see them.
So first up, we've got Jellied Monster number 2 with this entrant, which is Video.
That's my boy. No, my boy.
Oh, God.
Father hell.
Oh, man.
Whoa, wait. What happened there?
That's my boy. No, my boy. Father hell.
Oh.
Yikes.
Damn, if that was you, Jellied, I feel so bad.
That's my boy. No, my boy. Father hell.
Oh, damn, dude.
Man.
Got nuked.
I do love this TikTok format,
Yeah.
though. It's very funny.
Yeah, it looks like he ran wide and just went to the grass and absolutely ate it.
Oh, man, that's brutal.
Oh, we need to put the picture in picture.
I will run it back for you guys one more time just so you can see. Yikes.
That's my boy. No, my boy. Father hell.
So it happens real fast, but we see Jellied Monster just absolutely eating it.
Yup. So, for quality and funniness here, Jellied Monster.
All right, quality and funniness. I feel like the quality is pretty middle of the road. 2 photos and a quick image. I think 5.
A 5.
Yeah.
Funniness, though,
Pretty funny. I think a 7.
yeah.
Yeah. Good chuckle.
I love that format.
Yeah, it's a good format.
Stank Nooner is next.
It's just a cheap beginner bike.
It's a Sportster.
Just pull out the credit card and lube up your ass.
Okay.
Okay.
Got the MT-07. All right.
I don't believe I got it.
I think he just made a quick meme about that was his first bike, and then I said to get the credit card out, and then he got an MT-07.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure. Quality.
A 2.
A 2.
We're being brutal today.
We are being brutal. We gave you a lot of runway.
Yeah.
So
Gave you a lot of runway.
we're coming at it hard today. Funniness.
Goose egg.
Youch.
The savagery today.
10 points back is Stank Nooner. Next up, we've got Control Alt Owned.
All right, it's got a picture format. And it says, so it's called the Energica, and it's this amazing electric motorcycle. It's just literally no one. Magic Toaster. Yeah, so there's this guy in our server who never shuts up about Energica motorcycles, and that is pretty much how everyone feels, I think. Just having a nice conversation, he's just like, yeah, but Energica. And I was like, I'm not interested.
Here we go. All right.
Here we go.
So,
Pretty good.
I also love how there's this underpinning of just Magic Toaster roasting generally. He's a good sport about it.
He is a good sport. Yeah.
So for Control Alt Owned here, quality.
It is just a basic meme format. How about a 4 maybe?
A 4, yeah. And funniness here.
Pretty funny. How about a 6?
A 6, yeah. That is 10, middle of the road. Next up, we got Full Metal Corgi.
Full Metal Corgi. Let's see it. This is Whitney and you. It says, but Yami search history shows he likes Futas. And it's the Ducati Futa. I actually don't think that's the Futa because the Futa is a road bike and that's a mountain bike. But
Yeah.
I will dock you a little bit for accuracy there, but I like the format. You heard about this, right? The Ducati
Yes.
Futa. It's crazy. And every time they post about it on Instagram, it looks like an April Fool's joke.
Yes.
There's like the Ducati Futa, and the comments are like, guys,
Did you Google that term?
did you Google? If you click the hashtag on Instagram, it says you can't show it up because it's not safe for work. Because they literally
Does
put
it-
hashtag Futa.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's crazy. And I'm like, how is this still happening? Like, how has no one changed this?
I gotta believe it's just because it's some intern who's running it and they're thinking it's hysterical.
Probably, yeah. They're like, they still haven't caught on. It's insane that it's still happening. I thought for sure the first time it went live, they'd be like, oh, gotta pull the plug. They're just leaning into it now. They're like, it's called the Futa. Who gives a
I love the anthropomorphic bike that keeps showing up every time.
It's horrible.
the anime.
The anime road bike.
Yup.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so for Full Metal Corgi here, quality.
Pretty decent little Photoshop job. How about a 4?
A 4.
Yeah.
And funniness.
Pretty funny. How about a 6.5?
A 6.5.
Yeah.
That is 10.5 right there for Full Metal Corgi. Still nobody getting to Jellied Monster yet. Next one is Milliard with
Some noob going to grab a nice safe Honda, then GS6R just pulling him away. Yeah, it do be like that.
This feels nice and apropos considering the video that we made today that
Yes.
y'all are going to see later this week.
Yes, we are very excited and happy about this video that we made.
Okay, so quality here.
Very simple known meme format, so I'm going to give it a 3.5.
A 3.5.
Yeah.
And funniness.
Pretty funny, though. 7.5.
7.5.
Got a good chuckle. I liked it.
That's an 11 right there. Good enough for second place. Next up is Satsui.
Satsui. KTM owner says performance cable tool ties $5.95. Then KTM owners looking all happy at KTM Power Parts cable ties for $11.
I can't believe that KTM actually sells PowerPort zip ties.
Of course they do. Of course they do, man. And for $11.
But they straight up call them PowerPort zip ties. It is
because you know that some KTM owner is like wiring something up and he's like, I need this to be the exact same orange as my frame.
Yeah.
And then he gets these.
Yep.
Because you know it's the same color code as the frame and it'll be exactly right.
Yep.
Which is so fucking stupid.
Do they make them in blue for the Husqvarna?
I bet they do. Yeah.
I bet you they make them in blue and white for the Husky.
I saw a really funny post. I don't know if it was real, but it was a KTM that had like Yamaha decals on it. And the caption was like, got tired of getting passed at the track and slowing everybody up, so I'm trying to help the KTM cause out. Yeah, it's a good meme.
It is a good meme.
I like it.
So, quality here for Satsui.
Quality, pretty decent little Photoshop job and stuff. I'll give it a 5.
A 5.
Yeah, pretty good.
And funniness.
I think a 6.5. Good
6.5,
Good
yeah.
chuckle.
That is an 11.5.
Yeah.
New second place. The Chazen is next.
It's going to be Trail 125 meme. I knew it.
There it is.
Knew it. Chazen says, that's a nice moped, or is it a scooter? And then it's oh man, this is an old meme. It was that transgendered guy that was like, it's a motorcycle, because he says, it's ma'am. That was an old, ancient meme. I think it was from like 2015 or something.
Yeah, that's a bit of a deep cut. Is that
Deep
at a
cut.
GameStop?
I think it is, yeah.
God damn, when was the last time I thought about a GameStop?
Yeah. I don't know. That was a pretty funny video, though.
Yup.
Yeah. It is funny, though, because the Trail 125, it is a little confusing for people who don't know. It's a step through, right? But it has gears. So what is it?
It's got 1 through 4, right?
Mm-hmm, 1 through 4.
Just like the Grom.
But I don't think it has a clutch. Or does it?
I don't know. It's not a motorcycle.
Who knows? It's rude of us to ask, you know?
Apparently. All right, so for the Chazen, quality here.
4, middle of the fairway, kind of.
Yeah. And
He says it
funniness.
does have a clutch on chat.
It does have a clutch.
Does have a
Okay,
clutch.
I will
Okay.
give it to you then. Then
Give
it's
it.
probably a small motorcycle.
Yeah. Funniness, I would give a 6.
A 6.
Yeah,
Yep.
pretty
That's
funny.
a 10 right there. Angry Napkin
Angry Napkin.
is next. This one is the GIF. Here we go.
It says, Trike Boy is trying to explain how they're better riders because they just got back from a cross-country trip to my group of sport bike boys who just got back from the track. And it's that math meme or whatever.
Yep.
I love the version of that's the full video with the music, and it's all the different guys like explaining and like whiteboarding aggressively.
Yep.
And then you just get like the different types or whatever. So, yeah. Trike people are interesting, man. It's a whole different thing.
Well, so there's a bunch. This is one segment of riders that has sub-segmented itself.
Mm-hmm.
There's the Can-Am people, and
Totally
they're their
different.
own breed.
Own breed.
There's the Harley trike people. There's like the converted trike people, and then there's the slingshot people.
Those are the most cursed.
Those have you seen like the like Houston slingshot parades?
Oh my God, no!
Where
But
they're-
I can only imagine.
They're nuts, dude. They're if you thought a Turbo Busa got a lot of abuse from their
no.
owners, these slingshots are just like if a unicorn was vomiting and going down the road.
Every slingshot I see looks like a gaming PC with like the RGB and the lights and shit.
And they also have like the tarps and stuff on the top to like be sunshade.
I think it's just annoying that those people are still classified as motorcyclists. I'm like, come on, dude.
You're a busted up car rider who can't afford the fourth wheel.
Yeah. It reminds me of the guys in like the bike life crowds who are on quads, and you're just kind of like, what are you doing? Why are you on that?
Yeah, when I did the Alley Cat thing, there were so many
quad
quads.
boys? So
there were
weird.
so many quads, and I was like, what is happening here? Like, could you not balance a motorcycle? Oh, you're probably good drunk. I got it. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So for Angry Napkin here. Whoops, wrong. There it is.
Quality, I'm going to give it another kind of middle of the fairway 4 for it. Yeah.
Funniness.
I'm going to dole out a 3 here.
A 3.
Wasn't that funny.
7. Ouch. Last up, we got Spooky Ghost.
Spooky Ghost. Is it a video?
A video?
Okay. All right, so it was, that was, I'm going to be real mean to this one, unfortunately.
Oh, boy, here
we'll
we
watch
go.
that back. I don't think that's loading for you.
Yeah,
You hit play?
Oh,
there you go.
goes.
That's my boy.
So, it's a big old guy on a Harley. It says, loud pipes save lives. It says, no, there must be a better way. And then,
Newt, mother.
Newt, mother. So you just have to hit the horn, huh? Oof.
Yikes.
Just crickets chirping.
That's never good, especially not on a day when we said we're going to be savage.
Yeah. All right. So quality, I'll give it like a 2
A 2.
and 0 for funniness.
Yup.
Yeah. Sorry. Womp. There'd be higher quality memes than this, folks. I'm a bit disappointed at this meme contest.
Yeah.
There'd be better ones.
Next
Maybe
time
we need to focus their energy. You know.
Yeah.
Maybe instead of just making it motorcycle themed, I thought it'd help you guys out. Need to give them a theme.
Yeah.
Give them some sort of theme to make jokes about.
So we'll come up with. We have a video that is coming out that is probably going to have some hysterical memeable moments in it.
Yes.
So we will just probably have them next time.
There's gonna be so many in that video. There's a scene of me waking up in the back. There's the mirror. I mean, there's so many.
There's so many good
There's
memes.
the pictures we got of you.
Yup.
Yeah, come on. That's going to be a good one. But alrighty, folks, that's going to wrap up the Yamcast. Thanks so much for tuning in for this week. Remember, sign up over at yamanoob.co. Become a member. Join the Discord community. Watch these 1 week early before they go live on YouTube and become a part of them too. We'll catch you in the next one. See you later. Well, look at you. You've made it to the end of another Yami Noob video. You should consider yourself pretty lucky because I have curated this one right over here for you to continue watching. It's probably just as good as the one you just saw. Unless you hated the one you just saw. I don't know, maybe leave me a comment down below about how much you hated it as well too. Or just keep watching this one. Make sure you keep watching Yami Noob. Don't forget to keep watching Yami Noob. That's the most important thing. Keep watching Yami Noob.